Oh, it's my mistake. Okay. Hey guys, it's me, Monweezy. If you can't tell already, I got a haircut. I didn't want to get it, but my grandma said I had to, right? So I promised her, yes, I'll get it. And so I got it. And so here we are, you know. And I always tell the barber, hey, could you like a little bit off the top, like just a little bit, and they'll always cut everything off. So that's why my hair looks a little different. I don't have it made right now, obviously, but let me just play the before and after for you. This afternoon, I will not be looking like this. This is the last time I'll be able to do this for a while. So, goodbye, hair. It's gonna be gone. It's gonna be a little sad, but sometimes you have to do things we don't want to do. It's done. Snip, 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 snip. The snipping has been snipped. It's not as bad as I thought, not as what I would have wanted, but it's still okay. I'm sure that by the end of summer, it'll have grown a little, I guess. This is it, like freshly cut. I don't know how else to say it, but it's not as bad as I thought, and I guess it's alright. Anyway, I really don't want to get this video to be too long. I really strive to get them to be 10 minutes, but they become 20 to 40 minutes. So I'm just gonna get it done really quickly, starting with something special that I've always had down here in my desk. It's not really a desk, but let me see if I can find it right here. So I've always held on to this because the memory of me getting this will always be very special. This is from Chuck E. Cheese, which I'm pretty sure they went out bankrupt or something. Rest in peace. I have some tickets here. These I never used. These tickets, I never used these tickets. But I don't know how. I don't know if you're supposed to take these home. But I have some coins. Look, they're all coins, right? And man, there's a funny story behind why is like Chuck E. Cheese like etched out here. Like why is he like, what the heck happened? You know, it looks like kind of like Sonic EXE or from like creepypasta stuff, right? So there's a simple explanation, and I'll get into it right now. It all happened on one of my birthday parties. Now, to be honest, I don't have too many birthday parties. I've never had friends come to my birthday party. I've never done anything that special. Like, what did I do last year? No, in 2023, the way I celebrated my birthday is I just went out to eat some chicken. Like, I just went to a place called Wingstop. I never ate there before, but I just went there to eat, and it was pretty nice. First time and last, probably, because I haven't went back. Hey, the food was good though. I will give this. I'll give that. But I don't really do that much. Like in 2024, all I did was just I bought, you know, Undertale merchandise to give to myself for a little birthday present. You know, like, hey Monweezy, here's a little present for you to me, from me to you. And that was pretty much that. But besides that, I didn't really do too much other than, you know, maybe eat like a small slice of cake and then give the rest to everyone else because I don't really want it. But I remember one of my biggest birthday memories ever was at Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid, right? But maybe saying that could really bring out some nasty things from people, because that's what happened to me. Now let me tell you, this isn't like in kindergarten where I was the bad guy in kindergarten. No. It's a little different. So I'll get into it right now. Basically, I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna say, 3rd grade. I'm not sure. That's just an estimated guess. I know it's after 2nd grade. I don't know if it's 3rd, 4th, or 5th. But I remember it vividly. I remember I was at Chuck E. Cheese. It was just me, my dad, my grandma, and my grandpa, and that was it. We're just, you know, hanging out as a family. We were there. And my grandma said, oh, you know, go hang out, you know, go play, do whatever. There's like a Cause it's like there's like an eating area in front of a stage with the animatronics, and then you can go and there's like an arcade and then a ball pit and all that, um, and these slides too. And I remember I was like, really, I can go? And they were like, yeah, go. And they said, we'll call you when the pizza's here. I said, okay. Because back then, I said, you want a cake or pizza? Pizza, pizza, please. I love pizza, and I would prefer pizza over a cake any day. Anyway, so what happened was pretty simple. I was just hanging out. I left my table, right? Just a small little table. I didn't want to throw. When it comes to me, I don't want to throw like a big party for my birthday. I always feel like a little embarrassed if I do something like that. So, but I left the table, and I went on over to play, right? And I went to like the ball pits. I went here, I went there. I went all over the place. There was like these games where you get a ball and you have to throw it in a hole. There's like 5 holes, and there are these circles around the holes, and they kind of like you throw it and like go around and it'll go into a hole or not go. They had some bowling. They had Mario Kart stuff too. That was peak. I remember one time I was playing on my DS. At Chuck E. Cheese. But what happened was pretty shocking. Because I did not expect something like this to happen. I had ran out of tickets. You see, they gave me tickets. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, each game you play, you'd win tickets. I would be winning tickets, right? But the thing is, I didn't really like these tickets too much. I preferred the coins. I'll be honest. I don't know where I got these coins from. I really don't. Like some say 2010, I'm pretty sure I've had my rodeos at, it's not my first rodeo with Chuck E. Cheese. I've been there my whole life. But I was not alive in 1999. I remember vividly, there was this kid who kept hogging all the games. I was like, okay, do your thing. Let me go play in the ball pit. There was like a slide. You'd go in the slides and there'd be like a ball pit, and I'd be going down the slides into the ball pit over and over. That was my jam. I loved it. However, it wasn't too easy either because I got bored. I was a little kid. I was bored. So after a while of being bored, I decided, hey, I'm tired of this ball pit. I don't care that this kid is hogging the things. These tickets I hold in my hand, these tickets, they are not mine. They're the memories, the only thing left of him. You might be curious as to what happened, and I'll get down into the details right now. It all happened really quickly. Basically, I had walked over to the kid. I don't know his name, so let's just call him Dave. Dave, the kid at Chuck E. Cheese. I had 3 run-ins with this guy. Okay, the last one being the worst, but basically, I thought everything would be okay. Clearly not. It went horribly wrong. So basically, I went to this kid and I asked him, hey, you're over here hogging all these cool games. Can I play some, please? And he was like, no, you cannot. What? Who are you to talk to me, the Chuck E. Cheese king? He literally said that. He kept referring to himself as the king of Chuck E. Cheese. It's a little strange if you ask me, but, whatever. I'm just there to play. So I just said, hey, please. I was like, please, let me play, please. But no. He kept saying no. And it made me angry, right? And he had gotten like a high score. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh my god. I saw all these tickets. All these tickets are coming out from him. And I didn't like that. He had a whole pile of tickets. So many tickets. He was saving up to buy some stuff. But I looked at this guy and I said, hey, I was like, could I have some tickets? And he was like, no, you cannot have any tickets. So I said, okay. I walked away with I played other games, but they were more obscure than all the popular ones he was playing. Um, all the while, you know how the staff, one of them will come out dressed as Chucky and they'll be like walking around high-fiving kids and stuff. Well, they were walking around and Dave tripped that staff and that staff fell and dude, it was scary. You know the scene in Five Nights at Freddy's where they not the scene. Is it a scene? I guess you could say it's a scene in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 when a purple guy is getting spring locked in the safe room. Well, that's basically what's happening to this poor Chuck E. Cheese employee. They were like this, you know. They were something was going on. As soon as they fell on the floor, they were like shaking around, and they got up, and the mask fell off, and all the kids screamed. And Dave, all he did was just say, "Ha ha ha!" He was laughing at the guy, you know, and that was pretty weird. I mean, not weird, kind of messed up. You mean you tripped this guy and he fell and he got hurt. I remember watching that. I was like, that is not nice. And already at Chuck E. Cheese, I had an op. I had an op at Chuck E. Cheese. Dave was not on my good list. I was ready to brawl with Dave. I was ready to fight Dave, but it would not be so easy. Now let me be clear. I didn't fight anyone in 3rd grade at Chuck E. Cheese, but I did give this guy a piece of my mind. Now this is something I would never ever do nowadays. I would feel scared to say, "Hey, you're being mean. Please stop." But back then I was a little kid and I didn't really care. So, my pizza arrived. I got a pizza and I had a drink and I ate my pizza. Right? My grandma got a phone call. She went outside. My grandpa, he was trying to get himself some pizza too. He got himself some pizza and then he was like bored and he went to play some games in the arcade. I was like, okay. My dad, he went with my grandma outside because it was a related call to him. He had to take a phone call, right? And I was just sitting there by myself at the table, small table in the corner, eating some pizza. And Dave came over. And Dave was like, "Hey, you're the kid who kept pestering me to let you play on the games I was playing." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." I was like, "Hello." And he was like, "Yeah." And then, it was kind of a weird, kind of a little awkward, but he just sat down and he was like, telling me about all of his tickets, and he kept showing me all his tickets, and that kept making me angry. I don't know why it made me angry, but it did, and I just kept sitting there just watching all these tickets he had. And then he got a bunch of these tickets and he said, "I am so rich in my amount of tickets, I could just do this." He started ripping them in half, and I watched. I was like this, you know, like that one meme? No, you have to be joking. This can't be true. He's out here destroying these tickets that I would really like to have. I would really like to buy. They had like Chuck E. Cheese plushies, and I really wanted them as a little kid. So what I did was, well, if he seems to not care about these tickets so much that he's ripping them and he was mean to that guy, I couldn't believe that this guy could just do that. So we started grabbing it. I was pulling it out. I grabbed, oh my god. I had reached out and I grabbed the tickets. He had like a strain of tickets over the table and I grabbed it. Boom. He grabbed the other side. Boom. And I kept pulling gently, of course. But then he said, "These tickets, I'm never going to use them anyway." He said he was just going to take them and just bring them home to flex, you know, on his siblings. And I looked. And I don't know what was wrong with me. And I would like to just apologize for the actions I did. I pulled and I ripped. And it broke into 3 pieces. The first piece broke like this. Then this got cut off. Boom. And then a giant chuck just got flown across like a couple of tables. Like it was like flying in the air. We both looked. And he just laughed and walked it off. He said, "I still have the tickets for days. It doesn't bother him." Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. My setup is insane. I have my screen on top of a water bottle. Anyway, as I was saying, that happened. Oh my god. I did not mean to do this. Okay, anyway, listen, I'm sorry about that. It was pretty bad. But then later on in the day, after my grandma was like, okay, we're gonna go, and I was like, can I use the bathroom? She said yes. I went to the bathroom. I walked in. I used the bathroom. I go to wash my hands, and next to me is Dave, also washing his hands. And Dave looked at me, and he said, you know what? And he got water in his hand, and he kept throwing it all over me. And I've watched Friends, and I'll put the clip right now. And so in that clip, I copied Joey. I think it's Joey. I think, but I could be wrong. But he throws water on someone's pants to look like they peed themselves, and that's what I did, and I ran. Now again, I would just like to say that I'm sorry for that. That was messed up for me to do, and I apologize. It was messed up, and if I ever meet this kid again, which I probably won't, but if I did, I will say sorry if I ever meet them again. But I do feel sorry about it every day. I do. Not every day, like I don't think about it. I think about, but I feel sorry that I did that to them, and yeah, that's that. Just wanted to say that I had an arts nemesis at Chuck E. Cheese, and yeah, and these coins, I seriously don't know where they came from. Like, all right, be careful, because they're all gonna come out right now. Oh my god. I dropped a little bit, but that's okay. I really don't know where these came from. Seriously, I don't. But they're pretty cool, and I always keep them as like little, just something to have, you know. Just put them back now. Ugh, there's some like dust in there. I dropped one, got it back. Alright, I don't think there's any more. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. This was me, Mon Weezy, and goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.